welcome to the session on Skip Step by Nate Smith. And that's the main riff of the song. What was I doing? I was through two 17 quaver long passages. I was keeping a steady crotchet pulse through that. The music I've just played moves through the following time signatures: 4/4, 6/8, 3/16, 3/16, 4/4, 6/8, 3/16, 3/16. You could bar it out in different ways, but in 2017, on a Wednesday night, I heard this track and was like, right, that's what I'm doing with my students tomorrow. And I quickly transcribed it and went from there. It's quite feasible that at the point I transcribed that, having just been released, I was possibly the first person in the world to write out that rhythm other than Nate Smith. That's possible. Unlikely, but possible. Okay. Cool. So it goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And that repeats around through the whole kind of track, and it's just a kind of bop. It's a jam track. It's kind of awesome, visceral music that you want to dance to. You want to just get down with. But it's difficult because it skips around, as the title suggests. And so you need to have good physical command, which leads me into a point I'd really like to make to all of you about one of the ways you can get people to take notice of your music. Lots of questions coming in, I notice, to staff about how you make it. How, i.e., and the definition of make it in this sense is, how do you get labels or people to really take notice? Give them something to rock out to dance to lose their rag over, to just physically get dissolved into. The thing I love about this is when I heard this track, I instantly started to dance. I didn't know anything about the music. I didn't know anything contextually other than what I was processing in the moment I was listening to the music, which admittedly is a fair bit, but I didn't know who Nate Smith was. I didn't know what he looked like. I didn't know where he's from. I didn't care. I didn't know if he was, thin or fat or cool or uncool, or, I didn't know anything about him. It was, he could have been anybody. I just went, do you know what? I love this guy's music. And I didn't judge it, and I just rolled with it, literally, which is cool. And I would urge you to do that. And that's a cool thing. This exercise that I've just showed you, or I'll show you again now, is a really good thing. So we're trying to play this riff, or we're trying to account these difficult changing time signatures by keeping a steady pulse underneath. Here's a really basic example of one that you might do, whereby you count a quaver pulse over a crotchet pulse. So if I count in 7 but keep a crotchet pulse, this would be like a really simple basic example. You could choose this for lots of different time signatures, but here we go. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1. And that's a great exercise that all of you could practice. It doesn't need to be as complicated as this. Okay, good. So that's a really important feature of this song, and it's got a cool melody and some cool chords in the bridge. I'll teach you those bridge chords now, for those of you who are getting a bit fed up with this rhythm. Okay. That's a nice chord. What is it? It's a chord which comes up an awful lot, seems to anyway, in the music I show, which is E flat major 9 over G. That's G, F, B flat, and E flat, which is going to go to this chord, which is a dominant 9 chord. That's G flat 9, G flat 9, G flat, F flat, A flat, B flat, E flat. Okay, we're going to go to like a C minor add 4, C minor 7 add 4, C, B flat, E flat, F, which is going to B7 flat 5, B7 flat 5, which is B, A, D sharp, and F natural there. So I'll just play the bridge chords again of skip step. Here we go. These are the only chords. The other is just a kind of vamp over B flat, which you heard. That music there. But we have this chord, E flat major 9 over G, which goes to beautiful voicing of G flat 9. 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we get into the main melody of the song again. Okay, that's complicated, but hopefully you can follow some of that. Remember, if nothing else, just the exercise where you count a quaver pulse, which is an odd number, against a crotchet pulse is a good thing to do. You know, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or let's do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something like that. Okay. So, music that you can dance to. That's a great way of making your way. You know, lots of people understand that, and it's a really easy thing to say, but not an easy thing to do. One of the things that you can do physically to make your music more more visceral is get really physically involved in it. That's a slightly dodgy subject, isn't it? At college, we don't always address that. I don't make you dance. I don't make you play fast. I don't make you get really energetic. And for some of you, that's the last thing that you'd want to do. But there is a slight elephant in the room, in the sense that that is definitely a great way of people paying attention. They really enjoy it. And Nate Smith is no exception. He does this really extraordinary technique, which you really can't see too many other places other than him doing it, which is very easy to understand and very difficult to do. And that's a brilliant way of really engaging with people. Look at Alex Honnold's solo. He's the guy that free soloed El Capitan, the huge mountain in California. When I say free soloed, what I mean is he climbed it without ropes. He used climbing shoes, a pair of shorts, a t-shirt, and a small bag of chalk, and he climbed way over 3,000 feet straight up a sheer rock face. We all know what he did because we can climb stairs. We can all free solo. We do it every day. We understand, except our mind boggles when we see the footage of this skinny man hanging by his fingernails over a kilometer up in the air. If you haven't seen free solo, I would put your cynicism about movies that are created to sell North Face products and National Geographic subscriptions, which that movie was designed for. Alex Honnold knows that. He plays the game really well. I mean, he risks his life to play it. But it is an amazing movie, and despite the fact that that movie was created to sell North Face products, and boy how it does it, it was also an absolutely incredible human achievement, but something we can all understand. Anyway, back to Nate Smith. Nate Smith does this. He does it a lot better than me. And what's cool about that is that's a technique that's really made the music world, the drumming world, the kind of, just the world pay attention. Nate Smith has a tiny desk, and this is the first tune that he plays on it, Skip Step. Okay, so have a look. I'll do a really bad job of this, and then you'll see how this is good in terms of my learning, my development, things which I'm suggesting you guys engage with, things which push you physically, and then in turn, through your delivery, help you to increase the physical presence in your music. Am I making that point well? Not really, but basically music that people want to dance to and work up a sweat to. Incidentally, the album cover, he's mopping his brow, which is something he does a lot because he works so hard. He's a great musician. Okay, here we go. Okay, gosh, I'm on my own brow. I'm working up a sweat. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Cool. So straightforward, right? I can hit the drum, I can use my arm, I can use my wrist, I can use my fingers. Those are the only options I've got. So easy to understand what I'm doing. I'm just a guy hitting something. But obviously, you know, through that, it creates something much more than just that. Okay, good. Let's get back in with the music and we'll explore some other aspects of this music. I hope that stuff there makes some sense. Okay, let's have a listen to the music again. I'll explain a few things. So you can hear that riff. Okay, I can only play that because I can understand 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So there's a melody, which we're going to hear again. I'll play. Sorry. Always get the form wrong. Let's try again. Okay, cool. So I hope lots of that starts to make sense. What do I want you to do? I want you to have a go at those exercises rhythmically that I showed. I want you to have a listen to Skip Step by Nate Smith. I want you to check out a bit more about Nate Smith. But if you don't, I'm going to help you do that. Now, this is a really cool thing that seems to always happen. And one of the things, again, I love about studying music and studying other people's music and learning from it, great way of pushing things along for yourselves, is having, 3 years ago listened to a lot of this song and some of his other music. I then moved away from that and didn't spend any time with it, and then I thought, man, this morning I thought, I'm going to do a lesson on skip steps. I haven't played any of this music for, ever really, but then I checked out, I wonder what Nate Smith's up to right now. So let me show you. So there's Skip Step. That's the YouTube I was just playing. He's got a tiny desk. Okay, that makes perfect sense, etc., etc. But anyway, he's got a new record which is coming out, or a new EP, and this is fascinating. I think there's some really cool stuff going on here. Sorry, excuse the low tech here. But this really interests me a lot, and then all of a sudden got into learning this new song, so I've listened to this video once before. I'll just play a bit of it now, and then I'll talk through how I use this kind of music, or the concept of what I'm doing to further things along. Anyway, have a little listen to this. This track features James Francis, who's probably one of the best keyboard players around in the world at the moment, at this time, or in my opinion anyway, and also in the opinion of lots of other musicians too. I mean, like lots. Okay, have a listen to this. That's Nate Smith, not playing the drums there, of course. Playing the piano.
See, I was close enough to win the race, but I couldn't trust myself.
That doesn't sound bad, nor does that studio look bad.
Out just what I'm really made of, only time will tell. Me and my shadow standing face to face, a mask that I wear too well. And I just ain't ready in this state to pick up from where I fell. This was no accident. I struck the first blow. I saw a jagged road ahead and went full speed instead. But now I'm standing still. So tell me, am I good? Tell me, am I good enough to start off? To start over? Tell me, is there room for me to start off? Start over? Is there no deep which I can recover?
Okay, so I don't think this sounds or looks particularly bad. There he is playing drums. Okay, so it sounds really good. And the great thing is I really like this song. I've now learned how to play it. You can hear me jamming along a little bit. Sorry. Okay, so I love how one thing leads to another thing. Great advert for working hard. I don't think that's a cheap studio to rent. Well, it's Avatar Studios, so no, it's not. That's James Francis, really tearing it up. Okay, I hope this makes sense. Hope you enjoy the exercises and the thoughts and the lessons in this one. I hope the message is clear, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, thanks. Ciao for now. Bye.